It's time for Coffee with Corky. I'm Corky Harvey, and I'm with the Pump Station and Nurtury in Santa Monica and Hollywood, California. We're a breastfeeding and a new parent nurturing center, and we're going to do this every Monday where we present to you a little bit of information about various topics related to new parenting, breastfeeding, etc. And today, because it's a beautiful day in Santa Monica, we're going to talk a little bit about traveling. Hope it's pretty where you are too, and you're planning a trip to go somewhere to see grandparents and friends all over this world. So I traveled with a couple of little kids across the country to see my parents, and wow, that airplane travel was kind of tough, but it's better, a little bit easier now, years later. My kids are grown, and so there's been some improvement. So let's start out with a little bit on airplane travel. I think we're going to spend the most time on that today. So the first thing I would encourage you to do when you're traveling is get ready. One of the things you might do is book your seats in a way that allows a nursing mother to sit next to the window. If you're traveling with your partner mom, then go ahead and book the aisle seat. So if there's three across, your partner's on the aisle, you're by the window, and nobody wants to sit with new parents. Nobody wants to sit with a kid, so they're not going to choose that middle seat. If the plane is completely full and you have to choose the middle seat, then your partner can move over next to you. But by sitting next to the window, I can turn my back to the crowd, latch my baby, etc., and then turn back and relax. So it felt like, for me, a little bit more privacy. Another thing you can do to promote privacy if you're nursing your baby is to use one of the nursing cover-ups. The one we sell the most is the one called Baby Olay. This is a Baby Olay. Love this. It has a little boning in it, so you can see the baby and the baby can see you, and yet the crowd can't. So if that's comfortable for you, great. If you think you're going to just lay a blanket over your baby, babies don't like their faces covered, so this makes them feel like they're not covered and gives you that sense of security. I nurse my kids without anything like that, so feel free to do that as well as you are as you're traveling. That's one of my fun things to use. So let's go back to ease of getting onto the plane. So as you go through security now, it's a big deal. I would try wearing my baby in a carrier, a chest carrier. We love the wraps, the Baby Olays for young babies. We love the other kind of carriers like Ergo and Backgo. Those kind of carriers also work really well for getting through security. Now sometimes the TSA people will make you take your baby out of the carrier. Other times they let you go through. And you just never know what it's going to be, so you have to be prepared for that. Another thing that you could do is put your baby in the stroller, and we love those snap and goes, in the car seat, in the snap and go, and then when you get to the door of the airplane, you can bag check. So we sell here a lot of the air travel bags. So when you get to the door of the plane, you slip the snap and go into one bag and the car seat in the other, and then they go under the plane, and when you get off, there they are waiting for you to take off and go again. So that's a really cool idea. If the plane isn't sold out, perhaps you can take your car seat on with you and have the baby in the car seat to be as safe as possible on that airplane. Another thing that I think is helpful is if you have a backpack, so that you have two free hands all the time. So pack all your diaper stuff in the backpack, and that'll make it really easy to have free hands rather than something else slung over your shoulder. I love a convenient thing that a mother told me a long time ago, and I've shared for years, and that is she took a diaper and several wipes and put it in a Ziploc bag, or we also now sell these little bags that come in this convenient little carrier, kind of like a doggy bag that you got when you're walking your dog tied on his collar, and it has disposable bags. But you could take a few out, put a diaper in and a few wet wipes, and then you just grab one of those. You stack those across your diaper bag or your backpack. You just grab one of those and head to the changing area to change your baby, which brings up a really important point. You're going to need some disposable pads. We love these, but you can buy several different kinds. Because if you're going to change the baby on your lap, for instance, you'd want to have that up on your lap and lay the baby on it. If you're going to go to the bathroom in the airport or on the airplane, some of them do have fold-down changing tables for you. I still use this because imagine how many germs are on that public changing table. And if you use the pad from your diaper bag, it's going to get germs all over the outside of it. Then you fold that in, and it's icky. So I would take disposable pads with you, and then discard them. Even if the baby if you didn't get a drop of pee or poo on them, go ahead and dispose of them, so that you're not folding germs in. And another point, I'll bet you that the doorknob on the airplane bathroom is one of the dirtiest things in the world. So act like a nurse a little bit on this trip. When you go into the bathroom, you use the bathroom, then you turn on the faucets to run water, get your soap, wash and dry your hand, take the paper towel, turn off the faucets with the paper towel, open the door with the paper towel, close the door with the paper towel, then go back to your seat and use your hand sanitizer. Add to that, I would take, and I do now when I travel, I'm not really a germaphobe, but I have gotten sick after traveling several times. So I bring on antibacterial wipes, not your baby wipes, but your antibacterial wipes. And I wipe the arms of my chair, I wipe the tray table on the back and the front, and clean everything around me the best I can. I have seen some pretty gross things on airplanes. I've seen kids vomit on the seats. I've seen adults throw up on airplanes, and I don't think they clean it very well. So I would take that extra precaution of cleaning my area a little bit. And then you've got those antibacterial wipes along with you. You could even use those on the door of the bathroom, etc. So those are the kind of things you can do. Another thing, if you have a toddler, like a little older baby who's putting hands in the mouth a lot, I would get their little hands washed with soap and water quite a few times a day. Don't use the sanitizer stuff on a baby, because some of them have alcohol in them and aren't so good to have from the baby's hands to the mouth, but soap and water works really well. You might be using water wipes, and water wipes are good for some things, but they really aren't antibacterial. So you really want to have some of those things along with you. Another thing to do is to go ahead and use extra clothes for you and your baby. So pack, maybe you bring a rollie. If your partner's with you, bring a rollie that has enough things for you to do if you need to change your clothes. And don't wear white. If a baby poops, oh my gosh, it looks horrible all over you. So wear dark colored clothes and bring an extra shirt for yourself and several clothes changes for your baby. And maybe you need to be prepared for the possibility that the plane might have to land somewhere because of weather, and you might be stuck somewhere overnight. So bring enough stuff to get yourself through the night. Hey, we have a question coming in, and by the way, like us, share us, and also send us some questions. So we have a question. Cheryl.
So Corky, if you have the baby in the car seat or stroller through security, will they make you take the baby out, or can they stay in there?
It depends. On any given day, we hear a huge variety of what the families were requested to do. So just be prepared. But here's a thought. As far as carrying breast milk through, like if you want to take some breast milk on the plane with you, you need to go onto the TSA website. So I think it's simply www.tsa.com, and when you or .org, you might look at that, and they will have a section on breast milk on the plane. I would copy that. Take it in your carry-on, because sometimes they don't know the rules themselves, and so you can say, hey sir, by the way, here's what your site says, and that'll be easier for you so they don't have to argue. I mean, we've heard pretty crazy stories about people having to taste their milk or pour it out. So take that along with you as a helper. Do we have another question, Cheryl?
TSA.gov.
It's .gov. TSA.gov. So I would access that website, read it thoroughly before you travel.
We did have a question about transporting breast milk in terms of it being cold, or any recommendations there?
Well, we would transport it cold. So we know that breast milk is okay at room temperature for 5 hours, but we would be much safer to pack it in the blue ice. I've seen people put it in Ziploc bags and then put ice all around it and pack it in a cooler. But it is safe in blue ice for 24 hours. If you're not planning to use it on the plane, then you might keep it frozen and packed in ice. That would make it transport really readily to the place that you're going. But if you plan to use it on the airplane, just take it cold. You can ask the flight attendants to warm it for you. There's no reason not to ask them to do that. Remember, some babies don't care if it's warm or cold, so you might practice with that ahead of time to see what your baby's willing to do. Oh, and a good idea, fresh breast milk. Maybe you take on a little container of that. Great in the eyes and the nose of the baby to help fight disease. I know that sounds bizarre, but pediatricians around us are recommending that to parents because it actually is something that contains live disease-fighting antibodies. So if you put a drop or two in the nose and the eyes several times a day and after you arrive, it might help fight disease right at that level. So that's a really great suggestion. Let me see. Did I forget anything, Cheryl? Anything you can think of?
Any tips or tricks about going up and down with the...
Oh, that's right. Well, yes. If your baby is asleep, I wouldn't do anything. But you know how when you go up and you go down, your ears pop and bubble and there's some pressure changes taking place. So to equalize that, if your baby's awake, especially on landing, when you begin to feel your ears feeling that pressure, go ahead and nurse your baby. Or feed them. If you're not breastfeeding, feed them by bottle. Or let them eat some little snack if they're an older child so that they're swallowing. So there was a joke about that. A lady says to the guy sitting next to her, well, hope you don't mind, I'm going to breastfeed my baby because it helps equalize that pressure in the ear. And this guy looks at her and says, oh my gosh, and all my life I've just been chewing gum. Ha! So maybe you can help those around you. Just a joke. So anyway, do help the baby with a little pressure change. So I think that about covers it for air travel. But just a thought on car travel. Not easy with little kids. Maybe the easiest with a very, very young baby. Maybe a parent is sitting in the back with that baby just to help, maybe with the pacifier in the mouth or something like that. But you will need to stop often to feed your baby. And remember this, you cannot take the baby out of the car seat when you're traveling in the car. A very dangerous thing to do. And be sure you review car seat safety because we, every day at the pump station, are helping parents to get those babies in the car seats right. We see many, many mistakes. And do you know what the statistic is? 75 to 95% of babies are not either in their car seat right or the car seat isn't in the car correctly. So review both your car seat instructions and your car manual, and perhaps spend the time and a little bit of money to have an expert help you with car seat installation so that you know for sure you're getting that right. We have people here all over Los Angeles that come even to our place and help you install your car seat. So that's money really, really well spent. Any other questions coming through, Cheryl?
I think that's it.
If you have a question even after we are not live anymore, we will try to get back to you and answer that question. So thanks for tuning in with Coffee with Corky, and enjoy a beautiful day. And travel safely. Bye.
Next week?
Next week, what we are talking about, the barbecue out back, what can you eat, and possibly what could you drink as a breastfeeding mom. Enjoy your day.